Today's world, where disconnection feels more prevalent than ever, we find ourselves caught in a paradox. We're more connected than ever through technology, yet so many of us feel isolated and unfulfilled. Social media gives us the illusion of closeness, but the curated perfection we consume often leaves us feeling inadequate, lonely, and disconnected from our true selves and each other. We crave deeper meaning in our lives and relationships, but modern life pushes us toward comfort, convenience, and conflict avoidance, keeping us stuck in surface level interactions. I believe this paradox is happening for a reason. Our souls are calling us to evolve, to seek real connection, growth, and purpose. Hi, I'm Michelle, your quantum attraction mentor, helping women reconnect with their wisest, authentic, feminine selves and create lasting love. If you want to know more about that, then take a seat and stay a while. Humanity is evolving, rising with the energy of the new earth and stepping into higher states of consciousness. Yet, so many of us remain tethered to outdated patterns of survival and life. What do I mean by that? We're so disconnected from each other and from ourselves, from the world. We've been conditioned to go to work, consume, and wait for weekends that seem to pass in a blur of screen time. We work tirelessly, consume endlessly, and spend our days waiting for fleeting escapes like that next vacation or shopping spree. But these things numb us, and this way of living doesn't fulfill us. It's not enough to simply survive, go to work, pay the bills, and live our lives on repeat. We're being called to something greater, a life of purpose, alignment, and connection, a life where we don't just exist, but thrive as conscious co-creators of our reality. And nowhere is this more evident than in our romantic relationships. So today I want to give you a new perspective, even unorthodox, that will help you in your relationships, but also help you get used to adversity and the challenges of modern life. It's a way that will help you become stronger and more resilient. And that's to do with getting used to conflict. I used to believe that if there were arguments, disagreements in a relationship, then he and I weren't compatible. I used to look for easy relationships where we had the same hobbies, the same interests, and things were just easy. Now, there's nothing wrong with this kind of relationship, right? Everyone wants easy and fun. But in my experience, it felt like there was always something missing. And I couldn't place my finger on it. I just thought maybe I wasn't the commitment type. So the old paradigm of relationships, finding a partner, settling down, and entering a relationship based on social, economic, or financial security is no longer enough, obviously. With the feminist movements, women no longer need men for social and economic security. It's no longer enough to scroll endlessly on dating apps only to find superficial flings or people who end up wanting something different or being someone different for that matter. And part of this is what makes us feel so disconnected. We crave more. Our souls crave more. We desire relationships with meaning and purpose, ones that help us grow, evolve, and step into our highest potential. Potentials that align with this higher consciousness, with the new earth, with the ascension of the new earth. And I call this the new era of relationships. And it invites us to see our partnerships not as destinations, not as getting married and, having the kids, but as journeys. And what do I mean by that? Well, typically we find partners based on fear. Fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. And so we go out and search for someone who fills this void and completes a checklist. He's got to be this and this, and he's got to have this and this, and getting married and having kids and settling into a life of comfort. That's kind of the end goal. But in the new era of relationships, it's not about the checklist. Yes, absolutely have values and standards and boundaries. But the new era of relationships is about creation. It's about cultivating shared growth, mutual progress, and deep emotional and spiritual connection. That's what our souls are craving. It's not about sharing interests and hobbies. Those things change over time. People change over time. If we're settling into a life of comfort and we're looking for those easy relationships, we don't know how to adapt when things change. And when our souls are crying out for humanity's evolution, we need the challenges and adversities of life. We've been taught to avoid conflict, to fear disagreements, and to equate challenge with failure. But this fear of conflict, this obsession with keeping the peace at all costs, with saying sorry and sweeping things under the rug, even when it stifles our souls and what we really want, with walking away and never settling the conflict, it's all left us ill-equipped to handle the very things that help us grow. And it's one of the reasons why divorce rates are so high. We've been conditioned to seek relationships that are easy, comfortable, and free of conflict. To seek a partner that fits the checklist of ideal traits. And why not, right? There's plenty of fish in the sea. If this one doesn't work out, I'll just go get another one. And it's easy to distract ourselves with cell phones and social media. Anyone is literally at our fingertips at any time. But this is also throwaway mentality. And in this throwaway culture, we've stunted our evolution as individuals and as a collective. We dismiss people, replace them, and get so hung up on our feelings and what offends us that we've forgotten, or rather haven't yet figured out, that challenge, adversity, conflict are actually positive things. I know that sounds strange, but without them, nothing would progress. Think about that. The truth is, relationships aren't meant to be easy. They're meant to challenge us, to push us beyond our comfort zones, and to help us evolve. The conflicts, the disagreements, the difficult conversations, these are not signs of failure or incompatibility. They are the heartbeat of growth and connection. Without conflict, there is no opportunity to deepen or strengthen the foundation of the relationship. We deepen our bonds by moving through conflict together. That's how you know. I can make a mistake. I can act immaturely at times. I can lash out. And it's okay because he's got me. and we're both learning together. And we've got each other. I've got him. The key is in how we approach these challenges and having the awareness of whether the conflict is coming from ego-centered fear or from an aligned state, because there is a difference. Ego-centered conflict is driven by a need to be right, to seek validation or control the narrative. It often arises from insecurity, fear, or past wounds rather than a genuine concern for the relationship. So this could look like picking a fight over something trivial, bringing up past mistakes to prove a point, or creating drama for emotional reassurance. These conflicts don't serve the relationship, they drain it. Conscious conflict, on the other hand, comes from a place of integrity and care. It happens when something genuinely threatens the health of the relationship, like major life changes, unmet needs, crossed boundaries, or unresolved issues that impact trust and connection. When we shift our mindset to view conflict as a chance to improve, to address what isn't serving the relationship, and to create something better, we unlock the real purpose of partnership, of aligned, conscious love. Conflict is not something to fear. In fact, having the courage to address conflict means you care. It means you care enough about the relationship to bring up the hard truths, to stand for something greater than comfort, and to work together to create a relationship that is alive and meaningful and dynamic for both of you. It's through conscious conflict that we can truly align with higher vibrations of evolved consciousness and create a reality where love isn't just a feeling, but a force for evolution. Conflict is not just a natural part of relationships, it's a vital part, and it can even be exciting. I know that sounds so strange, right? But seriously, if your partner comes to you with a disagreement or a problem, try and shift your mentality, and instead of fearing or hating it, feel good that they're not just dismissing you. So I hear this in the space of female empowerment all the time. The first occurrence of disrespect, walk away. But I say that's not right. Don't dismiss him. Confront him. I'll link a video about female empowerment here somewhere. Romance or romantic love isn't about avoiding discomfort or maintaining an illusion of harmony. It's about creating a safe and sacred space where both partners can bring their whole selves, flaws, insecurities, traumas, and work through those challenges that will inevitably arise no matter who you're in a relationship with. Conflict will arise and arguments will occur, even if you're with someone who's checked all those boxes. So learn to deal with it. This perspective is a radical shift from how many of us have been conditioned to view love. We've been taught that conflict is a threat, that it's something to fear or avoid, and that disagreements signal something is wrong with the relationship. But the truth is, conflict is not the enemy. It's an invitation. It's a chance to grow, to understand ourselves and our partners on a deeper level, and to build something stronger together. However, this requires us to move beyond ego-driven behaviors and reactions. So the ego sees conflict as a personal attack. The ego clings to being right. It seeks to win at all costs and views vulnerability as a weakness. When we operate from this space, conflict does become destructive. The ego thrives on blame, defensiveness, and a need to protect itself. And it blocks the deeper connection we truly want and need from each other. The key is to step out of ego and into curiosity, to approach conflict not with the intent to win, but with the intent to understand. What is this disagreement trying to teach us? What unmet need, unspoken fear, or unresolved wound is being revealed? When we can see conflict as a mirror reflecting back areas where growth is needed, it transforms from a battleground, from feeling unheard, unseen, misunderstood, and even lonely, into a space for healing, commitment, and progress. This is conscious conflict. So how do we do this? To face the discomfort of conflict is to first have a shared commitment between the two of you to making the relationship better. When you enter into conflict, this is the first step, to sit with each other in the knowing that the conflict is for the betterment of the relationship. Literally, to make the relationship better. That's literally what it's there for. So when you need to have that difficult conversation, whatever it is, it could be to address disrespect, it could be to confront him for not doing something that you need or that you want, it could be deciding what parenting styles you're both aligning with. Actually vocalize the words. This isn't for the purpose of upsetting you. This isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about making the relationship better. Actually say those words out loud. It's important to express and keep coming back to those words if things start to escalate. So saying those words to each other reminds each of you that it's not about the ego. It's not about retaliation or revenge. It's not about proving a point, blaming, pointing fingers. So this doesn't mean conflict will be easy. It's very rarely easy. But it does mean that when we approach it with an open heart, it can strengthen the bond. Every disagreement becomes an opportunity to expand our understanding of each other and to co-create a relationship that is rooted in mutual respect and shared purpose and meaning. So, therefore, healthy conflict must be a value to you both. You both must value progress through conflict. I'll link another video where I discuss the importance of understanding your values and how it's your values that determine and drive your standards and boundaries. So, if you haven't sat down to determine your values, I highly recommend this video. I'll link it down below. Your values guide your life, especially in relationships. So I definitely recommend you check out this video. Okay, so when we embrace conflict as a natural and even essential part of romantic love, we shift the focus from ego-driven reactions to heart-centered growth. We stop seeing our partner as the problem or the situation as a problem, and instead see the challenge as something to face together. And in doing so, we unlock the true potential of love, not as a static, comfortable state, but as a dynamic, evolving force that drives our personal and collective evolution. So in this way, we can begin to feel connected to each other, and by approaching challenges on conflict with curiosity and openness, we align with our higher self, allowing us to respond with love, empathy, and a deeper understanding of both ourselves and our partner. This shift not only strengthens the relationship, but it also nurtures our own spiritual and emotional growth. Two things our souls crave now more than ever. Pardon me. Can you feel that? Do you feel your soul resonating with this message? If any of this does resonate with you and you're struggling with patterns and conflict, I invite you to download a free PDF that explores how ego-driven reactions and behaviors may be sabotaging your relationship, and how to reframe conflict as an opportunity for growth. Inside this PDF is a self-reflection tool and also practical steps to break free from old patterns, reconnect with your higher self, and deepen your bond. It's the perfect starting point for anyone ready to embrace the new era of relationships and conscious love and conscious conflict. I'll leave the link below. It's also something that ties in beautifully with the divine feminine essence, which is another part of relationships that I teach. Why the divine feminine essence? Because the feminine essence is so powerful within conflict. It's powerful anyways, but being in your divine feminine during conflict is the thing that will influence him to open up, because it's so influential to the divine masculine. I'll make another video on this in due time, but if you liked this video, please like, comment, or subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here and contributing to humanity's growth.